Okay? This man asked the question. He says, I do see that now is all there is, and everything else is simply not now. So it is also universal because now is happening to, through the entire universe, right?
Yes.
Now is present. It is total. Okay. He said, but now my question is, what happens when I die? What happens to the now? See, that's what he wanted to know.
Yes.
Okay. And you were asking?
And the first thing is that means that you're not your body. Because you're saying, well, when your body expires, the now continues.
Right. The now continues.
And you know this because you feel it. The fact that I can close my eyes now and feel my heartbeat shows that there's an intelligence in me. But you know, but when a scientist say that, okay, but that's because your body is coherent.
That's right.
And because it's coherent, that's in biology, other than it's called parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system.
That's right.
And so the things that your body entertains without your consciousness, your conscience of it. So what would you say to that, to the scientist?
It is all consciousness doing it. See, the body by itself is an expression only of consciousness. And it's an appearance of that consciousness. But everything that you experience, everything, is experienced outside the body also. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
Once.
Oh, okay. So you know you were just as alive as if you were in the body, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you told me about it. Right,
I sort of lifted above, and I could feel that I was above my body.
Yeah.
Just for a few moments.
For a few moments you felt you were there completely as you, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you're not the body then.
Yes. But for people who have not had proof themselves, it's hard for them to believe that. Well,
yes.
I'm not the body. Okay, that's all fine and good.
Right. So he was asking me what happens, and I had to tell him intellectually, of course.
Yes.
You know, although he had a drug experience of experiencing nothingness, emptiness, which of course is very euphoric, very beautiful, because it is really fullness.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So therefore I could relate to him that the very experience of consciousness is the reality. Consciousness and awareness are both one.
Consciousness and awareness.
Right.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Yeah. But there is another facet to consciousness and awareness. Consciousness would entail everything. Your sensual experience, your thinking, your feeling, your emotions, everything is in consciousness. But there is something that makes consciousness what it is. It is something primordial, and that is awareness. Okay? But awareness and consciousness are one. You see, this is where it gets a little bit difficult.
No, I see. I see.
Yeah, but it is awareness that is the real source.
Because without that, you couldn't have the consciousness.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So consciousness actually emerged from awareness. Awareness, for example, you might say, consciousness is thought. Awareness is the ability to see that thought, to be aware of that thought. Awareness has another factor. Okay? It is self-organizing and self-recognizing, which is incredible. So when you ask a person, any person, do you know you exist? How do you know that you exist? They'll say, well, of course I do. Well, how do you know?
Because they are aware.
Because I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Right? But they do not take it one step further, because they think, I am aware of it. Which in fact you are, but that you are-ness is not in a singular, in an individual way as we think it is. It is not a me, it is a universal.
So when they say I am aware, who is that I?
That's right, who is that I?
But when they say it, say I am Brian, I'm referring to...
Yeah, the moment you say I am Brian,
yes.
Then you refer everything
just
to the self-image
yes.
that you think you are, which is conditioning.
But what they're really saying is, oh, I am aware.
Yeah, if they say truly and mean it, I am awareness itself.
Yeah.
Now that's enlightened seeing. That is clarity. You see? So that is what is called the spiritual identity. This is who you are. That truth.
Okay, Bert, I have a question. How come that? So awareness is like the host of consciousness.
Yes.
So how do we know that we are not also a consciousness?
We are consciousness.
Okay, so but doesn't consciousness include the body, the mind, the memories?
The body is a reflection of consciousness. So it keeps changing form. Now, what we call consciousness, it's true. That's a very good question. What we call consciousness is that which keeps changing all the time. But change is forever changing. That is the nature of the movement. So we can say that awareness just is.
Yes.
It is an immovable stillness.
Fine. Yes.
It is the center of the cyclone.
Yes.
You see? And from that center comes all movement. Picture it this way, okay? Picture a bicycle wheel.
Yeah.
Now, in the very center lies a hole.
Yeah.
And all the spokes converge. And the wheel is turning and turning and turning and turning, is very, very active. But that which keeps it moving is the center, which is very stillness itself. Okay.
That's like Buddhism, right?
I guess that's what Buddhists call, but this is something that...
Okay,
yeah,
so that's the awareness. So
that's the awareness.
You're saying that things that change, that move, are not true?
Well, it's not that it's, we can say that they are not true, but they're relative truth. Einstein called it relative truth, the theory of relativity. It means everything that we experience is relative to that one single reality, which is light. Light is that stillness, is that foundation. It's called awareness. And everything is relative to that. So therefore, thought is relative, because it's changing all the time. The body is changing all the time. The body not only changes from lifetime to lifetime, but even in one lifetime it changes continuously, from baby to teenager to man, woman, old woman, etc., etc. It keeps changing all the time. So the body is changing all the time. So therefore it's a relative truth. Emotions are relative truth. Experiences are relative truth. Your story is relative truth. But the truth is that which never changes. And that is who you are. Okay? Now, that which changes is consciousness. The unchanging is awareness. But you cannot separate the two. You see? Yes. And that is the beautiful thing. So therefore, when we come back to the question, is there death? Death is impossible, because all it is just change.
So, but the self-image you have, that personal connection, will never come back.
Once you realize that the self-image, the personal thing, is just an idea,
yes,
it might come back, but it won't matter anymore. Because once you know the truth, how can you forget it? One time, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was asked, was asked this. He said, do I have to keep repeating, I am God, I am God, I am the self, I am the self? And he said, do you keep yourself saying, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man?
No.
He says, once you know it, you know it. You see? So once you know you are pure awareness, yeah, the stories might come back, the self-image might come back, but it doesn't matter anymore.
But that's funny, because if you believe in reincarnation is funny then. It doesn't make sense, because if I say, I'm going to be reincarnated, well, who's going to be reincarnated? Well, Brian. Right. Well, it doesn't matter who Brian is, so really there's no reincarnation.
That's right.
It's just one large reincarnation.
That's right.
So people who say, I'm going to be reincarnated, they're saying, well, my image will come back as a rock, or a bird, or a lion. But they're still attached, that proves they're still attached to that image.
They're still attached to that image.
So that's not a large way of seeing things.
That's not a large way of seeing things. That's beautiful.
Yes. I see that, yeah.
Yes. See, reincarnation exists, but it doesn't exist.
Yes.
You see? Yeah. So we're constantly changing, but the change, which is consciousness, is all to bring us back to that source, which is pure awareness. Once we know pure awareness, it doesn't matter what is happening anymore, because we are free. We are liberated.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.